Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. This is a route choice task, getting from A to B, and this is actually a real life example from what we did on the navigation course last weekend. So we want to get from point A here, this 623 spot height, over to this point here, Kinder Gates, and these are boulders on either side of the stream there. But one added element I want you to consider is the weather conditions. So this was a photo I took on the day, and you can see that the visibility is very poor. It was raining heavily, ground conditions were heavy underfoot, and it was quite cold and windy. So will that influence our route choice? So let's have a look at the map. We're on the Ordnance Survey 1 to 25,000 map here. A couple of things to note straight away. Some of the symbols. So this black dotted line here goes along here. This is not a path. This is just a political designation. It's a boundary between two districts or something like that. So there's nothing actually on the ground that you will see here. And then secondly, the green dashed line here, that is a public right of way. So it says that we have a public right to walk along there. It's a historical right of way, but it doesn't mean that there is a path on the ground. Known paths on the ground are these black dashes here. So a black dashed line here, and then here where we've got a black dashed line and a green dashed line together. So we want to bear that in mind. So a couple of things we could do. We could take the most direct route, so we could aim to go pretty much westwards over here and pick up this north-south stream and head in. And in fair weather conditions, that might be a good option. But we've seen what the weather conditions were like on the day, and that would mean crossing these streams here. So got quite a few streams that we'd have to go down and up the other side, down and up the other side, possibly across here. And this is going to be all heavy going ground along there. So we might not want to do that. What we wanted to do was keep it simple and keep moving, and by that I mean minimize the amount of time that we were concentrating on looking at the compass, trying to follow an accurate bearing, and also minimizing the amount of time that we had to stop and look at the map. We just wanted to keep warm and keep going. So what could we consider doing? So as I said, rather than heading off across here and getting through all these downs and ups and downs and ups, and then some more downs and up here, whether we'd hit the right stream here, and we don't want to sort of overshoot, we thought, right, let's keep it simple. If we head north, we're going to hit this here, which is the break of slope, where the ground beyond drops away really steeply, and even in bad visibility that will be obvious, and hopefully we'll hit this edge path as well. Now there, it didn't really matter whether we were slightly to the east of north, slightly to the west of north, we're eventually going to hit this edge path there. From there we could just turn left, confidently turn left along this path here until we got to that point there where it says Fords and Fall, because at that point there the path kinks round and goes back in a northerly direction up off the top of the map, but also we can see these streams here draining down, and the contour lines very close together. So that is going to be an obvious point there. So that was our attack point, if you like. And then what we wanted to do is then look at our compass and go on a compass bearing towards Kinder Gates, but we didn't want to follow an exact bearing to those gates. The reason for that is because if we got slightly wrong on our compass bearing and we hit this stream, we might not know whether we'd gone to the south of Kindergates or to the north of Kindergates, and we'd just be stood there in the fog looking around thinking, all right, well, are we down here somewhere or are we up here somewhere? So what we did was deliberately aim off. That is, aim to miss the gates on the top side to the northwest, and then know that we could turn left and come into them. So that was the plan. I suppose the question is, could we be sure when we'd hit this stream? How would we know when to turn left? Well, if you look at the map, look at all these drainage lines here, all this water from the south, from the east here, from the west here, it's all draining into the main river that flows through Kindergates and then flows out through and down Kinder Downfall. So we were quite confident that when we hit that main river, it will be significantly wider or have more flow in it than all of these little tributaries off to the side. So that was the plan. I've got a GPS trace of what we actually did. So what did it look like? So remember, we're starting from there. So the route looks like that, pretty much as planned. So notice that we only had to cross one stream there, and then we're on the edge, followed the edge path. At this point here, look, we didn't take that little black dashed line further off to the north. We found another path that was going in the right direction, same direction, and we just rejoined there. So again, that's another indication that not all paths on the ground are on the map and vice versa. We got to our point there, took our compass bearing, and we actually followed one of these drainage lines, hit that point there, roughly where we wanted to the northwest of Kindergates, knew that we had to turn left, and it took us in there. And that's us just stood with Kindergates. Kindergates are just behind me as the photographer. You can see the width of the river here because it's got a lot of flow in it. So that was the answer this week. Hope you got it right. Hope it was food for thought. We do different things, do navigation differently on good weather days compared to bad weather days. You might be confident taking a more direct line straight across the middle, but we certainly didn't fancy that in those weather conditions. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Look out for next week's navigation task.